Ladies and gentlemen, struggling to understand why WWE would schedule these WrestleMania kickoff shows to come on at 6 o'clock p.m. when they should be scheduling them to come on at 7 p.m. That's what they did with last year's WrestleMania kickoff show. How come they didn't do it for this year's WrestleMania kickoff show? And for that, my advice to all of the wrestling YouTube content creators and podcasters, make sure you book and schedule your watch-alongs at the right time. I recommend you to schedule your watch-alongs at either 7:30 p.m. or 7:40 p.m. because when you go live with a watch-along, as soon as the minute you go live with a watch-along, the kickoff show is already on there. It's gonna get boring to watch and sit through. Those kickoff shows are absolutely boring, are absolutely just nauseating and boring to sit through. Kayla Braxton, she's okay on the kickoff show. Everybody else on there, you can forget about it. That is why I schedule my watch-alongs, my WrestleMania watch-alongs for 7:30 p.m. So that way I won't have to worry about waiting on the kickoff show to go off. That's too much. That's too long. There's no sense. There's no sense in booking a kickoff show at 6 o'clock p.m. only to having to wait till 8 o'clock p.m. for the actual show to come on. Talk about unnecessary stuff. Anyways, guys, I'm IWN. This is your WWE NXT Takeover Stand Deliver and WrestleMania 39 Night 1 review. My WWE WrestleMania 39 Night 2 watch-along is already scheduled. It'll be scheduled to go live at 7:30 p.m., I believe, if I'm right. Because I know for a fact that I scheduled it to that time. I know for a fact that I did. Let me check and make sure. Yes, I'm absolutely right. Yes, I scheduled my WrestleMania 39 Night 2 watch-along to go live at 7:30 p.m. It'll be live 7:30 p.m. and it'll start at 7:55 p.m. So make sure you guys are there. And let me give you a heads up before the main show, which comes on at 8 o'clock p.m., which is the WrestleMania 39 Night 2 pay-per-view. We're going to have to, unfortunately, sit through two of the worst. And not only are we going to have to sit through and wait on this boring kickoff show, now we're going to have to sit through and we're going to have to sit through two of the worst matches of the entire show. Number one, Omos versus Brock Lesnar. And number two, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. None of those teams are actual tag teams. They're paired up teams. Nobody cares. The women's tag team division is non-existent. Meanwhile, the women's division on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, those divisions are not non-existent. Those divisions are actual divisions. The women's tag team division and WWE are not actual divisions. I think this is just a way to inspire other younger females that's watching, younger female audience. That's the way I look at it as far as the WWE Women's Tag Team titles matches being booked and the titles themselves being put on the line. It sucks that we have to sit through two of the worst matches of the entire night, but the rest of the matches we all know are going to deliver. That includes the Intercontinental Championship match. Speaking of the Intercontinental Championship match, that match is going to be a hard-hitting match. It's going to be a clash for the ages. It's going to be banger after banger after banger after banger. That's going to be a hell of a banging triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. And we got Roman Reigns defending both titles against Cody Rhodes. That's going to be even more great. So, and plus we got Edge versus Finn Balor to watch. And at least when I watch Bianca Belair versus Asuka, I can go on a record and say Asuka versus Bianca Belair is better than two of the worst matches that we had to sit through and watch. I can go on the record and at least say that. So if you guys are new to the channel, man, hit that subscribe button, turn on that bell for all notifications. Very, very important. Why is it important to have on those notifications? So you don't miss a single watch along and review that gets scheduled to go live, or a game stream that's scheduled to go live. I don't want you to have to miss a single watch along and review and game stream on the channel, man, because then you won't know what's going on. You won't know what I have planned on my channel. Obviously, you guys should already know what all I have planned on my YouTube channel this week. The schedule is on there. The schedule for the first week of April is on there, which happens to be this week. All you have to do is go to my community page on the YouTube channel and check it out. It's there. I am going to be posting next week's schedule, probably maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed both of the NXT Stand Deliver and WrestleMania 39 Night 1 pay-per-views as much as I did. Those were two of the greatest pay-per-views of all time. I am easily choosing Night 1 over Night 2. Just because Night 2 has two of the worst matches on the card. Just because of that. Two of those worst matches on the card are not even going to be produced or booked right. Those two matches are going to go horribly wrong. I know. They're going to miserably fail, and they are going to turn away half of the audience. I can just feel it. That gutsy feeling that I know the audience are going to be turned away by these two terrible matches. I know. I just know it. I know it sucks that I know it kind of sucks that I'm taking Night 1 over Night 2, but you got to look at it this way. They got two of the worst matches booked for Night 2. Why would anybody want to go with Night 2 with two fucking terrible matches that were booked on the card for that pay-per-view? And if you think that Omos versus Brock Lesnar in that WWE Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team Championship match is any good, you have to be a complete buffoon. And you are one of the many reasons why the shows are suffering the way they are. I don't know why. I don't know why WWE would go out their way to book two matches that nobody's going to watch. Two unimportant matches? Are you serious? That is why I'm so glad I enjoyed Night 1 when I enjoyed it, because Night 2 is going to get bad. Night 2 is going to be really bad. The vibe for Night 2 is really going to kind of set the tone. It's really going to set in. It's really going to determine who enjoys Night 2 and who doesn't. As far as all of us wrestling YouTube content creators go, watching wrestling and watching this pay-per-view, I get the feeling that I'm not going to enjoy Night 2. I'm still going to be live with the watch along either way. I just get the feeling that I'm literally going to just literally shut down the stream. Like, I don't want to see these two matches on the card. I would rather see Bobby Lashley versus Karrion Kross on the WrestleMania 39 card than Omos versus Brock Lesnar. That's how bad the Brock Lesnar Omos match is going to be. That's how bad that match is going to be on the card, on the show. Omos is fucking terrible. Oh, and the geeks online. Oh, but he's trying. I mean, all he needs is more training, and he'll be no. Get him off of TV. Get him off of my TV. He needs to get released from the company. More like that. Talk about somebody that needs to be on Nick Khan's budget cut list. Omos is definitely one of the talents that need to go on Nick Khan's budget cut list because he is fucking awful. He is absolutely awful at what he does in the ring. His gimmicks and promos are even more troubling. They got to get him off of TV, man. I hope after this, Omos gets released from the company. He does not deserve to even be a WWE employee, man. I mean, it's not his fault. And it's not his fault. It's not his fault. It's the way WWE is treating him. If WWE simply gives him a good promo, good gimmick, and good moves to do in the ring, good training, he'll be all right. The fans, he would get over the fans in a quick instant. But no, they want to go and pair him up with MVP. And Omos could be one of the members of the Hurt Business. Omos being in the Hurt Business is gonna bring the Hurt Business faction down faster than you can blink. Nobody wants to see Omos. There's rumors that Omos could be a member of the Hurt Business. No, nobody wants to see Omos in the Hurt Business. No. Not a good addition. He would absolutely not be a good addition to the Hurt Business. I think a person that would be an even more good addition to the Hurt Business would be Carmelo Hayes or a Trick Williams. You know what I'm saying? Guys like that. Omos? Hell no. And what was the point of signing a 7-foot-tall Nigerian, knowing how terrible he is on television? Really? What's the point? What's the point if you're not going to give him... What's the point of having Omos on TV if you're not going to give him a better promos, if you're not going to give him a better gimmick, if you're not going to give him better training? What's the point? You might as well let him go from the fucking company. At that point, if you're not going to treat him like an actual employee, like an actual talent. Why don't they give him the push that Braun Strowman currently has right now? Jeez Louise, have Braun Strowman train Omos. Good gosh. What a waste of time Brock Lesnar versus Omos is going to be for WrestleMania 39 Night 2. That match is going to be a complete waste of everybody's time. Same with Ronda Rousey. She needs training. If they would have gave Ronda Rousey better training, better promo, better gimmicks in WWE, she would be all right too. She would get over with the fans well too. But that's not the case for her either. My God, man. I am looking forward to WrestleMania 39 Night 2, and I'm not at the same time. I just explained why. I just literally explained why. So if you want to know why, then you're gonna have to rewind this freaking stream, because I'm not repeating it again. You can forget about that. You can forget about that. But folks, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit the thumbs up if you think you're going to enjoy this review. It's going to be a good review, man. I'm going to make sure it's going to be good. Trust me. I promise you it's going to be good. It's going to be quick, because WrestleMania 39 Night 2 will be coming on at 8 o'clock p.m. And I still, to this day, don't think it makes sense for WWE to start the kickoff show at 6 p.m. It would have made more sense for them to start it off at 7 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. Why do you want to sit 1 to 2 hours through a fucking kickoff show? Are you serious? Nobody watches that shit. Nobody watches kickoff shows. They're boring to sit through and watch. Why do you think I schedule my watch-alongs to go live at 7:30 or 7:40 p.m.? Nobody wants to sit through that shit. Are you serious? If you're really going live with your watch-along and are willing to sit through that, you are setting yourself for failure. You are selling yourself for failure if you want to be live with your watch-along and to sit through that for 2 hours. If you go live with a watch-along and sit through a kickoff show for 2 hours, you are going to immediately lose audience. That is why I don't go live early, because I don't want to lose audience. I want everybody here. That way we can have a good time. We can watch the matches. We can hear the commentary together and everything. I'm not like these other YouTube content creators where they go live early and listen to the kickoff show, and then they start losing the audience and subscribers. No, I'm not those. I'm not them. No. I'm IWN. I'm not them. You want to go listen to a kickoff show? Go and join somebody else's watch-alongs. Not mine. No. I ain't got the time for kickoff shows. Those are some of the most boring things to watch on a darn Peacock app. Some of the worst things to watch on Peacock. They need to cut the shit with these kickoff shows, man. They really do. And just actually get to the main show instead of having to go with a kickoff show first. Nobody wants to hear about what not Pat McAfee, but nobody wants to hear about what Booker T and Sam Roberts and all of them have to say. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. We know how terrible Booker T is on commentary and on his podcast. We all know how Booker T's shit takes and opinions are. We know how terrible his opinions and takes are, man. We know that. Just like we know how terrible Sam Roberts' opinions and takes are. Really. It's ridiculous. Why didn't they just schedule the kickoff show why didn't they just schedule to start the kickoff show at 7:30 p.m.? Why? It would have been better scheduling it at 7:30 p.m. or 7 o'clock p.m. than 6 o'clock p.m. It would have been better scheduling the kickoff show to start at 7 p.m. than 6 p.m. It don't make no sense to be scheduling it at 6 p.m. Who does that shit? I'm going to say this one last time, and then we're going to start the review. If you go live with your watch-along at the same time as the kickoff show starts, you are setting yourself up for failure. You are going to absolutely sit through 2 hours of a kickoff show and be like, oh, man, this is boring, man. I should have just waited till 7:30 p.m. I'm telling you right now, I recommend all the wrestling YouTube content creators, podcasters to schedule your watch-alongs to go live at 7:30 p.m. If WWE is going to be scheduling their kickoff shows at 6 p.m. for every single pay-per-view all of a sudden. Nobody wants to sit through a 2-hour kickoff show. Nobody. Anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and start the NXT Stand Deliver WrestleMania 39 Night 1 review. So I'm going to be reviewing both shows, basically. So check this out. So NXT pretty much kicked off with, hold on. Is this the right one? Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. I think I'm on the wrong one. This doesn't look right. This doesn't look right. Wait a minute. Hold on a second, guys. Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. What the fuck is all this? What's all this shit? No. We don't need that. We don't need that right now. Are you kidding me? You mean to tell me I have to look? Guys, I thought I had my notes on the screen, man. I swear I thought I had my notes on the screen. I swear I did. I legitimately thought I had my notes on the screen, man. I'm not even going to lie to you. Only to find out that they weren't on the screen. Okay, here we go, guys. we're going to actually start both reviews now, starting with Stand and Deliver. So, NXT Stand and Deliver kicked off with Chase U versus Scasm. Let me know y'all's thoughts on that match, because after an intense battle of stables, Duke Hudson had put on a Scasm t-shirt and then ripped it up and worked in unison with Chase U to take down the heels. I never understand why Tyler Bate had teamed up with Chase U to take on Scasm in the first place, but here we are anyway. Andre Chase and Hudson hit the Freightliner to win. So that was pretty much it there. I assumed that this match was a fun opening act for Stand and Deliver, even after it was surprisingly thrown on the kickoff show last minute, which was a terrible last minute decision. It should have been on the card and not on the kickoff show. They should have never even did a NXT Stand and Deliver kickoff show if they didn't know where they were going to place this match. So Chase U working together near the end was especially Catholic or whatever. But regardless, Hudson shows his side and made Scasm pay for their mind games. Now, this was the best way to go, as Chase U is a popular act in NXT. This is a gimmick that can translate easily to the main roster. Maybe. We'll see. The Scasm cannot buy a win. But that has always been the case. You know what I'm saying? So, now The Rock's daughter, Ava Raine, at least she got a little bit of ring time. We didn't see much ring time coming out of her, though. She got a little bit of it. Thea Hall massively outshined her. So that's what happened with that match between Chase U and Scasm. We move on to the ladder match, where we have Perez versus Starks versus Dolan versus Stratton versus Valkyria versus Hartwell. And a ladder match to determine the new NXT Women's Champion. Now, every woman was close to gold in this match. Gigi Dolan had it in hand. JC Jane returned to throw her down onto the ladder. Indy Hartwell sent Tiffany Stratton down onto the floor and then got an assist from Dexter Lumis to capture the title. It was a fantastic ladder match that should stand up to the competition on WrestleMania weekend. You know, everyone did get their spot. As with all of these bouts, there were some rough spots, you know, and hopefully nobody suffered a serious injury. I'm going to have to check the news. Which means I'm going to have to check the news and see, man, because I don't know that yet. But it was a shock to see Roxanne Perez lose the NXT Women's Championship so suddenly, after coming back from that concussion or that injury or whatever she had going on with her. It was great to see her back, though. It was great to see her on WWE TV. It was great to see her in a ring, at least. Hartwell's win feels more like an NXT Lifetime Achievement Award than anything. You know, and she has pretty much worked on the brand for so long. So she gets a surprise title run before heading to the main roster. So that's that for the ladder match. for the NXT Women's Championship. We go from that to the NXT Tag Team Championship match, where Gallus defend their NXT Tag Team Championships against the Creed Brothers and the family, the Tony D'Angelo family. Tony D'Angelo fought hard to give Channing Stacks Lorenzo this big win, but the Creed Brothers and Gallus continued to break up the pins. Finally, Joe Coffey arrived to uneven the odds and set up Mark Coffey and Wolfgang to take out the underboss to win. This was a solid but sloppy tag team match following the women. The men tried to make their own impact with major spots, but defiantly lagged behind. Now, the right team won as Gallus are fully reunited. Joe can be a major challenger going forward in NXT, and he makes the champions appear unstoppable. The family showed off some great tag team synergy, but still need to work more to refine their offense. Definitely that. Definitely that. Now, they could be a great tag team with more time. Maybe. Maybe. Not so sure. We move on from that to the NXT North American Championship match, where Wes Lee defended his North American Championship against J.D. McDonough, Dragunov, Exam, and Dragon Lee. So everyone fought in this match with all they had. We know that. It was also the smallest margins by which Wes Lee retained. Of course, it didn't really surprise me that he retained. I already knew he was. I actually predicted that he was going to retain. He caught Ilja Dragunov mid-running a European uppercut with the cardiac kick to win. This was the match of the night and could be the best of the weekend if the main event or main roster, does not step up to the challenger. The talent on display was unreal. Yes, it was. It was unreal. No question about it. Zam may not have had the name to match up with the other challengers. However, he absolutely stole the show. Dragunov was a close second, though, with some incredible moments. And the champion let his challenger stand out while escaping with the NXT North American Championship. And now Wes Lee is building a legacy as the title holder, who may be the best in the belt's history right now. No question about it. And this was one of the best matches of the entire Stand and Deliver pay-per-view. Another one of the best matches of the entire pay-per-view, which is Stand and Deliver, is this unsanctioned match. This was another match I enjoyed, even though I enjoyed the ladder match more. Grayson Waller took a beating in this intense physical war. Johnny Gargano had enough of the loudmouth heel, low blowing him and then making him tap to the Gargano escape. Johnny Takeover was back and he told a good story with the Australian. It was near the level. It was near the level of Gargano's best old NXT matches. The two battered each other and kept the energy high throughout. Few have been as good lately in NXT as Waller. So he deserves the spotlight, even if he could never take the win. He has more than proved himself as a heel of the future for WWE. Hopefully, both men can carry this momentum forward no matter which brand they are wrestling for in the future. Gargano is on Monday Night Raw right now. He's not really on SmackDown. He's currently Monday Night Raw talent right now. So I can see Johnny Gargano back on Monday Night Raw because he's been there. He was never on the NXT brand roster in the first place. Then we go from that to this NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match. It wasn't all that. It was somewhat okay. Kiana James showed her loyalty to Fallon Henley by protecting her, but still relied too much on cheap tricks. When Josh Briggs stopped Brooks Jensen from helping James, she fell into a senton bomb backbreaker finisher, losing the tag titles. Now, this was better than the build suggested it would be. It was still a step below the rest of the card. The drama distracted from the action as expected, though everyone stepped up in terms of in-ring performance. Yeah, that part. Alba Frey and Isla Dawn are a really strong women's tag team and find their chemistry easily. Now that a cohesive team has the titles. Again, hopefully NXT's women's tag division can get back on track. There shouldn't even be no women's tag team divisions, to be honest. The women's tag team titles need to go. There should only be a singles women's divisions in NXT, WWE, Friday, SmackDown, and Raw. Well, NXT, Raw, and SmackDown in general. I feel like these NXT women's tag team titles are dragging the NXT women's division, and I feel like the WWE women's tag team titles are dragging the Raw and SmackDown women's divisions down completely. That's the way I feel about it. Moving on to the main event, which was the last best match of the entire night. Bron Breakker versus Carmelo Hayes. The main event was better than the Women's Tag Team Championship match and the Chase U versus Scasm match. It was better than those two matches, in my opinion. Bron Breakker and Carmelo Hayes went at it throughout this NXT Championship match. It took a save from Trick Williams to seal it. Hayes finally won off the nothing but net for the victory to become the new NXT champion. Afterward, the former NXT champion put over Melo and raised his hand as the new champion. It was a solid but formatic main event after all the build. The finish was cheap, requiring him to cheat the win. It would have meant more if Breakker went out, finally meeting his match once Trick Williams was ejected. So we had 3 title changes. One where Isla Dawn and Alba Frey became the new WWE NXT Tag Team Champions. The other one where Indy Hartwell became the new NXT Women's Champion. And last but not least, where Carmelo Hayes beat Bron Breakker, dethroning him to become the new NXT champion. So that's 3 title changes on one night, on one pay-per-view. But what matters most is that the right man is champion. That's Carmelo Hayes. It gives Melo the best and brightest in NXT he will steal the show time and time again. Shawn Michaels and his and Triple H's administration would be smart to look at the 5 men who stole the show earlier in the event yesterday afternoon. Because Stand Deliver was yesterday afternoon, WrestleMania 39 Night 1 was last night. So the former champion did not look like a man looking for a rematch at the end. It likely seals the future of Bron Breakker, who will head to the main roster. He has very, very great potential and still needs to learn a lot from working with the top guys, clearly. I think Bron Breakker is going to be a heel on the main roster because did you see how he handshaked Carmelo Hayes' hand and gave him his NXT title? That, to me, is a sign that Bron Breakker will make his main roster debut. There's no way he's making his roster debut as a babyface. There's no way. I just don't believe this whatsoever. I don't believe this whatsoever, man. I mean, you would think after losing a championship match, you would go heel. I think that's where it's heading for Bron Breakker. He's going to be a heel on the main roster. Where does he go? I don't know. I think he needs to go to SmackDown. SmackDown needs more star power. The SmackDown men's division does. Then again, the Monday Night Raw men's division needs star power too. But I think he would fit right in with SmackDown. And then you had Karen Grimes going to Monday Night Raw. You know what I mean? Same with Cora Jade. I think Cora Jade would fit right in on SmackDown women's roster. It's just my opinion. We'll find out who gets called to the main roster a little after WrestleMania. Anyways, guys. So, if you want to know my opinion on the best matches on this pay-per-view, I'll give them to you. I just actually mentioned them not too long ago. So, in my opinion, only 3 of the best matches of the entire NXT Stand Deliver pay-per-view were the best matches. So 3 of the best matches of the entire Stand Deliver pay-per-view, in my opinion, were the ladder match, I'm trying to think, what else was on there? Oh, the ladder match, the unsanctioned match, and the NXT Championship match. Those were the 3 best matches of the entire Stand Deliver pay-per-view, in my opinion. So I hope you guys respect and accept my opinion, which I know you probably will. Some of you have bad habits of never accepting my opinion. I don't understand why. I never understand why. I never understand why y'all don't accept my opinions, man. I never understand that at all. I mean, am I that bad of a fucking brain? Is my takes and opinions that bad? Surely they're not. I mean, surely they're not, man. Well, anyways, my full thoughts on the NXT Stand and Deliver 2023 pay-per-view overall. Honestly, if you want my honest opinion about this, I would say that it was an awesome pay-per-view. And the good thing about it is it really set the tone for the whole weekend. And it was very, very disappointing that a little disappointing that they downgraded Chase U versus Scasm to the kickoff show when it should have been on the main show. There was no reason why Chase U versus Scasm should have been on the kickoff show. It should have been on the main show, not the kickoff show, regardless. But looking at the time, the main show wouldn't have fit under the 3-hour mark. HH and HBK like to keep things. You know, Chase U versus Scasm, it wasn't really all that, but it was okay. You know. Duke pulled some good double swerves. I'm not going to lie to that. And some of us were all expected to see him turn and join Gacy, only to use that as a way to lower Gacy's guard. It was a great win for Chase U, which will still be a thing now. And anything's possible for them now. Maybe Bate stays on as their singles title guy while Chase and Duke try for the tag titles again. You know, that's a huge possibility to consider going forward. Anyway, the ladder match opening was absolutely fantastic. Easily one of the 3 matches of the entire Stand Deliver pay-per-view. Simple fact, because number 1, there was wild stuff of all the possibilities. And number 2, I did not expect Indy to win. That was unexpected. That was unexpected, man. I was thinking it was going to be a moment where she loses and finally moves on to Monday Night Raw with the way. But instead, NXT got a great reunion of Index so that Indy can finally have her moment. And she joins the very small club of NXT Women's Tag and Singles Champions. Of course, JC shows up to ruin things for Gigi. Their feud is not done yet. We know that for sure. And Roxanne was an interesting one. She had already checked off everything in NXT. And, you know, I don't think anybody was sure if she was quite ready for Raw or SmackDown just yet. She could have been. You know what I mean? She could have been. No question about it. She could have been. I was very happy to see Joe Coffey return. It all played out as people expected. Joe helps Gallus Boys stay on top. And now there are endless possibilities for the full trio. And Pretty Deadly getting on the nerves of Tony and Stacks was also a good, pretty genius touch. Their match can help build the next contenders in a more traditional 2-on-2 feud. That's the way I look at this. And with that, you know, I don't know about everybody else, but I'm leaning towards Tony and Stacks. Those guys definitely deserve a full feud with Gallus to go firm against firm. You know what I'm saying? And Mafia against Mafia, like back when Tony was dealing with Legado del Fantasma. The Angelo family should get someone new to help with numbers. And right now, it's kind of tough to say who that third man could be. It could be Dijak. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. It could be Dijak because we don't think Dijak is getting called back up yet. So it could easily be him. Who knows? We'll have to see who the third person is going to be. The North American Championship match. And I didn't mean to say that the women's ladder match was one of the 3 best matches on the entire Stand Deliver pay-per-view. I meant to say the North American Championship match was one of the 3 best matches of the entire pay-per-view. That's what I meant to say. Never mind the women's ladder match. in my opinion, the North American Championship match stole the show. All 5 guys were extremely talented. And all the 1-versus-1 combinations we saw in the match worked, though there were some scary moments. Very, very scary moments. Really. And all 5 made it to the end, and Wes retaining was the intersection. Wes retaining with that intersection. It was a great choice. It was a good, fantastic choice. That ladder match was a banger of a match, that's for sure. Especially with Dragon Lee in it. You know how good Dragon Lee is. I've watched Dragon Lee's matches in Lucha Underground and all the other Mexican promotions down there in Mexico. Now, as far as Wes Lee goes, it isn't that he has something to prove. It's so much as Wes Lee still has, so many feuds he can have before finally losing the title and moving on to the main roster. You know what I'm saying? And the unsanctioned match from Gargano and Waller was good stuff. But some of us, we all know that some of us know that naturally NXT was not going to go as bloody as AEW has with their unsanctioned matches. You know what I mean? So it was great to have Candice get involved. And it was a strong feel-good moment for Gargano to win so that the Way could have an even bigger reunion. So that was really, really good. The women's tag team title match, however, it wasn't even so much Frey and Dawn getting between Kayana and Fallon so much as, Kayana wanting to bend the rules and Fallon being against it. Jensen got stuck in the middle as he has this whole time, and that cost Kayana and Fallon the titles. With nothing left to lose now, Fallon will surely reveal the truth about Kayana and Sebastian to Jensen. And we get another match between the ladies. And then the main event, while not as wild as the ladder or fatal 5-way match, had great storytelling. Both guys knew each other well to handle the other's offense. They brought out tricks the other wasn't aware of. Bron Breakker wasn't aware that Trick Williams was coming back out. But it didn't really disappoint people that Trick tried to screw Bron over when this was about respect, basically. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the attack didn't really finish it. Mellows did. So it was still technically a clean win. The outcome people were hoping for still happened anyway. In that Mello has the title and Bron is free to move on now. Whether it's Raw or SmackDown or just a different title scene. I think I could see Bron Breakker go into the main roster. It's time. He's ready. He's more than ready for that main roster, ring roster. He needs to go up there. And plus, on top of that, Bron Breakker's been ready for the main roster for some time now. As far as having a complete look and the in-ring talent. And he spent plenty of time in NXT to where fans down there are mixed about seeing him. And maybe we may see this on Monday Night Raw. We might see it on Monday Night Raw this Monday night. Who knows? He may make his Monday Night Raw debut this week. You'd never know, man. The possibilities are endless. It could be anybody could make their debuts down there. Even on SmackDown. Anybody. Anybody from NXT can make their main roster debut. Any free agency. Anybody that's free agent can make their debut as well. All right, guys. That's going to do it for your WWE NXT Stand and Deliver 2023 review. If you guys enjoyed that, hit the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Don't forget, we're on the road to 700 subs. All we need now is 3 more subscribers, and we will be at 620 subs. So subscribe. I really appreciate it. And let's get some likes on the stream, because I'm kind of getting upset because I don't see no likes on the stream. I really appreciate it. I feel like I'm doing really good with this review. But I feel like some of you guys don't believe it. I want you to believe it. I do. I want you to believe it. Now, this NXT Stand Deliver 2023 pay-per-view, in my opinion, was the greatest of, well, you know what? Actually, no. It wasn't really the greatest. Put it this way. In my opinion, it's the best pay-per-view, the best. I'm going to put it like that. Because that's what I feel like saying. It was the best pay-per-view of 2023 overall. Overall, it was. I'm looking forward to seeing the next NXT pay-per-view, which is NXT Battlegrounds. Not WWE 2K Battlegrounds. Not that. NXT Battlegrounds. Now we move on from that to your WWE WrestleMania 39 Night 1 2023 review. We're going to go ahead and get to the review right now. I'm not going to waste anybody's time. Because in about one hour or an hour, the WrestleMania 39 Night 2 pay-per-view will be coming on. So, and I'll be live with the watch along by then. So, anyways, we had got the kickoff show. Mike Rome introduced Becky G, who performed America the Beautiful while standing inside the ring. Hell, Becky G looked beautiful. Looked beautiful in what she was wearing. I know that. I'm not thinking the other way around. Get your minds out of the gutter. A pre-taped WrestleMania cold open video package hosted by Kevin Hart aired. Michael Cole welcomed viewers to the show. WrestleMania host The Miz standing on the ring, I guess, was Snoop Dogg. I don't know what the fuck that was about, but I clearly didn't enjoy it. Miz compared his accolades to Snoop's and said they are exactly the same. Okay, nobody gives a shit. Snoop said it was about the fans. Miz agreed and then listened some of the matches. Let's fire it up, Snoop said to close the segment. So the United States champion Austin Theory made his entrance for the opening match. Michael Cole and Corey Graves checked in from ringside. They were on commentary for this big, huge pay-per-view. WrestleMania 39. Graves congratulated Cole for calling his 22nd WrestleMania event and noted that it was the most of any broadcast team member in the company's history. Well, congrats to Michael Cole, man. I mean, I'm not going to call him some geek. I mean, he's not a geek. But he was definitely a fucking comedian for saying that Charlotte Flair the greatest of all time. I don't even want to say it, man. She's not even the greatest of all time, man. I mean, no, she's not even close. Not even close. Now, I will say that she's great in the ring, but her moonsault, her promos are absolutely awful. Her gimmick is okay, you know. It's not all that good, but it's okay. You know. I wish they would have gave Charlotte Flair a better gimmick. You know what I mean? A better gimmick she can go with that she'll be good at. If you know what I mean. Believe it or not, Charlotte Flair used to be one of my favorite female talents. Back at the time when SmackDown was called SmackDown Live. But Cole noted that John Cena has delivered a record 600 wishes. That was so heartwarming to see. It really is brilliant to see. A sight to see is for sure. A Make-A-Wish video aired. And you know what? I could tell some of those kids were autistic like me. I mean, even though I'm not a kid, I'm an adult, but I'm just saying. A group of Make-A-Wish kids stood on the stage, and ring announcer Mike Rome said it was their dream to go to WrestleMania. Some awesome shit here, man, with this Make-A-Wish stuff. John Cena made his entrance and greeted the kids on the stage. I bet some of the fans in the arena were crying, man. Their kids' parents were probably crying, sitting in the crowd with tears coming down their face, trying to dry out their eyes with tissue to keep themselves from crying and getting emotional. Seeing their autistic children on stage. John Cena slapped hands with them, told them to have fun, and said it was time to go to work. They have Austin Theory defending against John Cena for the United States Championship. Cole noted that it was John Cena's 15th WrestleMania match. He said Cena kicked off WrestleMania in 2004. Now, WrestleMania 39 1, it was last night. But Cena kicked off WrestleMania in 2004 by beating Big Show to win the U.S. Championship. Cena knocked Theory down with a couple of early shoulder blocks. Theory backed Cena into the corner and then bit his ear. He's smiling somewhere, I'm sure. I'm sure he was smiling somewhere last night watching that. And Cena got upset, chased Theory out of the ring. Theory returned and hit Cena from behind while he was checking his ear. Theory suplexed Cena, who returned the favor with a suplex of his own. Cena performed the move, got a 2 count. Theory went on to the ropes, played to the played to the crowd for heat. Sorry about that, guys. Theory rolled back into the ring into a dropkick. I bet you were laughing at that. And then covered Cena for another 2 count. Theory rolled back into the ring into a dropkick and then covered Cena. Theory went for another rolling dropkick. Cena dodged it, hooked him in the STF. Theory bit Cena's hand to break the hold. Graves said referee Chad Patton was being lenient because it was a WrestleMania match. Theory put Cena down, then put 1 foot over him for a cocky and a 2 count. Theory went for a leaping boot, but Cena caught his foot, Cena powered up Theory for an attitude adjustment. Theory slipped out of it and hit a DDT on Cena, which led to a 2 count. This match was starting out really fantastic. It was a clash for the fucking ages. This match was. It really, really was. Y'all just don't understand how much I enjoyed this match. Really. Really. It was one of the 2 best matches of the entire night. Just because John Cena took the time to get the young Austin Theory over. He got him over so good that the crowd was into it. The crowd went nuts after he got Austin Theory over. The crowd was also not surprised by the outcome of the match. As Theory put Cena in a sleeper hold in the middle of the ring, Cena started to fade. Then showed signs of life. When you show signs of life, you get up. You're trying to get yourself up, and you're trying to figure out, oh, what do I need to do next to put him down? Shit like that. And Theory hooked onto the back of Cena, who fell to his knees. Cena powered up and backed Theory into the corner of the ring to break the hold, pretty much. Cena hit a couple of shoulder tackles and a side slam. John Cena, looked to the crowd. They roared, and he bowed to express gratitude. And then hit the 5-knuckle shuffle. That's what they call it, the 5-knuckle shuffle. Cena went for the AA, but Theory grabbed the top rope. Theory's leg hit the referee. This was a referee bump, pretty much. Cena applied the STF. Theory tapped out. Cena released the hold and assumed he won the match. Cena spotted the referee down and then turned back to Theory, who hit him with a low blow. And Theory hit the A-Town down and pinned Cena for the 1, 2, and 3 to retain his United States Championship. Graves thanked the weekend for one of the WrestleMania 39 themes. It's always the weekend coming out with songs. Ring announcer Ricochet's girlfriend, Samantha Irvin, introduced Titus O'Neil, who was seated with the broadcast team and joined them on commentary for the next match. Entrances for the 4-way tag team match took place. This match wasn't that bad either. Graves said Dawkins was looking forward to exorcising some demons on behalf of his Cincinnati Bengals at SoFi Stadium. Titus picked the Profits to win. Yeah, I picked them to win. I predicted that either the Viking Raiders are going to win or the Street Profits, and sure enough, the Street Profits won, and I was right. While Graves went on to pick the Viking Raiders. Cole made an early point that there would be no rope breaks due to there being no disqualifications in a fatal 4-way tag team match. The big men from each team ended up in the ring, and then their partners joined them. All 8 men brawled while referee Aja Smith essentially threw her hands up. The Raiders hit their Ragnarok move on forward and then posed with Valhalla. At the time when SmackDown was called SmackDown Live, Valhalla was Sarah Logan. So just thought I'd tell you guys that. Strowman shoulder blocked Eric and Ivar. When they turned around, Gable grabbed Strowman from behind, tried to suplex him. And then Strowman avoided it. Gable came right back with his roll into a bridging suplex for a 2 count. Cool spot. The crowd cheered loudly. Gable took a moment to soak it up. Gable went up top, but Dawkins tagged himself in. Gable went for a rope splash anyway. He ended up crashing and burning when Strowman moved. Now, Dawkins went up top and was shut up by Ivar, who tagged himself in. Ivar went for a moonsault that Dawkins avoided. Strowman went up top, performed a big splash on Ivar. When I mean it was big, I mean it was bigger than a fucking giant hippo. The other wrestlers rushed to break up the pin. Otis picked up Strowman and slammed him to the mat. Otis tore off his shirt, swiveled his hips, and then Otis went to the ropes before it knocked him off. Man, what speed and agility that Montez Ford has in the ring. I mean, really. So, Ford fought off Ricochet, and Gable crushed Ford on the top rope. They did a big Tower of Doom spot with Ivar and Otis holding up. Gable and Eric with Gable on top. Ricochet dove onto Gable, and they all crashed to the mat. So the fans chanted, "Holy shit," and Titus said he wanted to join him. And Strowman did his Strowman Express, his woo-hoo! That shit. Shoulder block on a bunch of opponents at ringside until Dawkins knocked him down with a great shoulder block. Ricochet performed a shooting star press dive onto Dawkins and Eric. Back in the ring, Ricochet performed a shooting star press on Dawkins, who pretty much put his knees up and then held Ricochet in place. Forward performed his top rope fall splash on Ricochet, and then Ford pinned Ricochet to win the match. So Angelo Dawkins and Ford hit the double team move to heavens on Ricochet for the 1, 2, 3. That's what they call it from there. It was a blast. It's definitely a blast, man. Everyone had their moment to shine, and the live crowd ate it up. There was some really good action. Really, really good action, man. So we got a video package that aired on Brock Lesnar and Omos. Oh, God. And that's tonight, too. Oh, Jesus. That's going to be a complete fucking absolute uneventful bore fest to sit through. Cole said Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul match was coming up next. Xavier Woods hosted an up, down, down video game viewing of a simulated Rollins versus Paul match from the WWE 2K23 video game. That's something I used to do when I do my wrestling reviews. When I did my wrestling reviews on WWE 2K20, you guys remember that? I think it was 2K19, though. I don't remember. It's been so long ago. Liv Morgan, Rich Holland, and Butch watched with a couple of non-wrestlers. Rollins won the simulated match. Woods said they learned that Rollins beat Paul in 50% of the simulations. The video package set up the actual match. The match in real life. Obviously. Logan Paul was shown with a headset mic. City of Angels, I'm back, Paul says. Did you miss me? Paul was raised from the stage by some type of contraption or some shit like that. And he swung over the stage and was then lowered onto the entrance ramp. A bottle mascot from Paul's energy drink company joined him on the ramp and they headed the ring together. I wonder if people are going to let the energy drink mascot reveal himself to be Jay Watt. Just so people can watch the internet explode, maybe. Please, folks, take that as a joke. I know it wasn't really meant. I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know what to think of that. I really did. I didn't really know what to think of it. Just like I didn't really know what to think of the match between Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. I mean, I guess it was a great match. I'm just not a fan of Logan Paul. I am a fan of Seth Rollins, however. I love his theme song, his gimmick, and his in-ring skills. I don't know about his promos, but all the rest of the stuff about Seth Rollins is great. And sometimes he can give great promos, man. Not all the time. Not every superstar has great promos. You know, you're gonna have that. That's typical normal shit in WWE. You got Rollins versus Logan Paul in one-on-one action. Rollins played to the crowd while Rollins yanked in response in his corner. I think I meant to say Logan Paul played to the crowd, but whatever. The mascot remained at ringside on Paul's side of the ring. Rollins went for a step. He went for a stomp about 90 seconds into the match. Why did I say stomp or step or whatever? I'm getting my words mixed up now. Now I'm fucking myself up. Rollins went for a stomp about 90 seconds into the match. Paul avoided it, and then Paul came back and hit a buckshot lariat. But they don't use that name in WWE. I wonder why. Oh, because that is Adam Heyman Page's finisher. That's why they don't use that in WWE. And I bet you that was a trademark file that AEW filed to for Adam Heyman Page's finisher to be called Buckshot Lariat. That was probably a trademark. You know it was filed by AEW, obviously. But anyways, they don't use that name in WWE. In AEW, they do, because that's Adam Heyman Page's finisher. And AEW, I think, were the ones that filed the trademark for Adam Heyman Page's finisher or signature, Buckshot Lariat. Let me know if I'm right. If I'm wrong, please let me know. I'll admit that I'm wrong. It seemed like they would, though. Paul threw punches in the midsection of Rollins, while Cole told the story of Paul having a screw in one of his hands that enhances his punches. Logan Paul performed a springboard crossbody block and followed it up with a standing moonsault for a 2 count. Rollins showed frustration as he got up. Paul applied seated version of an octopus hold, which the broadcast team said was inspired by Antonio Inoki. Inoki! No, I'm just joking. Jay Lee! Rollins escaped the hold and hit Rollins with a hit Logan Paul actually with a chop to the chest. Oh, can't believe I'm getting my shit mixed up already. I was just doing good. Paul fired back with an elbow, and then they traded strikes. They got back to their feet. Rollins took a big swing, but Paul ducked it and pretty much performed a gut wrench suplex. Paul performed a moonsault that Rollins avoided. Rollins threw punches at Paul and was pulled away by referee Ryan Tran. Rollins sent Paul to ringside and then hit him with 3 suicide dives. Jay Lethal has got to be somewhere smiling, man, I'm sure. Paul crowded toward his mascot. Rollins stomped Paul's hand on the ring steps. Graves said it was the same hand that Paul used to knock out Rollins. I know his brother Jake Paul's got to be somewhere smiling. Logan Paul's his brother. Conor McGregor may be smiling too somewhere. Back in the ring, Rollins went for the pedigree, but Rollins powered up. They traded a series of pin attempts when they stood up. Paul blasted Rollins with a knockout punch. Paul rolled Rollins onto his back and covered him for a near fall. Cole said that Rollins stomping the hand of Paul may have saved him, as Paul was slow to cover Rollins due to the pain he felt after the knockout punch. Paul ran and leaped at Rollins and put him down with a sit-out powerbomb before he didn't fall. Rollins waited for Paul, but the mascot pulled Paul to ringside. The mascot revealed himself to be Paul's buddy and business partner, KSL. Rollins went after KSL, or KSI, or whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call that black guy. Paul ran Rollins into the ring post. Rollins was placed on the Spanish broadcast table. KSI stood over Rollins and filmed him. Rollins pulled KSI onto the table while Paul leaped from the top rope and ended up putting KSI through the broadcast table. Rollins took Paul to the ring and hit him with a pedigree. Rollins went for the cover, but Paul kicked out at the very, very last moment. Rollins hit a rolling elbow and then hit another to the back of Paul's neck. Rollins went for a stomp, hoisted him up, and gave him a GTS. Paul went to the top rope, performed a frog splash for a near fall. And then Paul had Rollins seated in the corner of the ring. And then Paul went up top and dived across the ring at Rollins, who super kicked him in midair. Rollins performed his stomp. Britt Baker's got to be somewhere smiling because she does that move too. Or maybe she's learned that from him. But Seth Rollins hits the stomp finisher on Paul and then pins him for the win. The footage aired of fans attending a BT Sport viewing party in the UK while Cole hiked Money in the Bank for London. This was awesome. You know, it was even more fun than people thought it would be. You know, I'm not the biggest Logan Paul fan. I'm not really a fan of Logan Paul, but gave Seth Rollins a run for his money. I will say that. You know, but I don't think he should be on TV. I don't think he should be on television. He's not a wrestler. He's a celebrity. He's a podcaster. And that's as simple as I'm going to say. I still don't think he should be on TV. I think he's better off as a boxer. He's better off following in his brother's footsteps than being a professional wrestler. I think Logan Paul is better off as a boxer. I think he would look good as a boxer. I think he would do good in a boxing career, in a boxing ring. It's the way I look at it. Paul is terrific. You can't imagine how good he could be if he wanted to do this full time. You know, working with one of the best in the business helps. Paul has exceeded expectations in each match to date. Rightfully so. I mean, Rollins going over felt like the obvious move, considering that Paul dominated every time that led up to the match. Cole hyped the 6-women tag match. He said fans who were watching on Peacock Plus could watch the video package on the match. Ad-based users got a commercial break instead. And Damage Control made a standard entrance. Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus. So Bayley, Lita, and Trish Stratus received a Sin City style video. They made separate entrances in black and white with bad CGI rain. The color returned as they met on the stage and walked to the ring together. Got Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, and Lita versus Damage Control's Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai. They really need to break up Damage Control. They really need to break up Damage Control, man. They really do. It's time for Bayley to go solo. It's time for Io to go solo as well as Dakota Kai. It's time for all three of these ladies to go solo. To go on their singles, on a singles run. That's where these three ladies need to go, on a singles run. The 6 women met in the middle of the ring, traded punches. The baby faces cleared the ring. Cole noted that the match had not officially started. Lynch performed a baseball slide and then threw Kai into the ring. The referee called for the bell to start the match. So then the heels isolated Lynch quickly, and Sky performed a nice springboard dropkick. So then once Io Sky hit the did that, Kai again joined Sky in elevating Lynch into a Bayley neckbreaker. Kai covered Lynch for a 2 count. Kai performed a running kick in the corner and made the cover. Referee Danilo Elfibio, I guess, was tied up with Sky and was slow to make the count. Lynch eventually made it to her corner and tagged in Lita, who got the better of Sky until Kai caught her with a kick from the apron that the referee missed while checking on Sky. Bayley tagged in. Damage Control trio through a triple kick, and then Bayley covered Lita for a near fall. So then, after that, pretty much, Lita was isolated in the heel corner, you know. It's almost like they kept her in the heel corner to keep her from tagging in Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus. Same strategy on Sami Zayn. They try to keep Sami Zayn from tagging Kevin Owens in. Lynch eventually made it to her corner and tagged in Lita, who got the better of Sky until Kai caught her with a kick from the apron that the referee missed while checking on Sky. And that Damage Control trio threw a triple kick, and then Bayley covered Lita for a near fall, pretty much. Lita was isolated in the heel crowd, and Lita eventually performed a double DDT onto opponents. Anyways, Trish checked in for the first time, got a flurry of offense on. She went for her head scissors takedown on Kai, who shoved her to the mat. Guys, I'm falling asleep. I think after this, I'm going to take a little nap and get up, get ready for WrestleMania 39, Night 2 pay-per-view. Lynch and Lita, Trish, who executed that scissors move on Kai, pulled her onto Bayley and Sky on the floor. Back inside the ring, Lita tagged in, and she and Trish hit poultry in motion on Kai. Lynch pretty much tagged in, formed a leg drop from the middle rope. Lynch went for a disarmer, but Bayley kicked her to prove it. Bayley dragged Kai to her corner and tagged herself in. Bayley went for the Rose plant, but Lynch countered out of it. So Bayley shoved Lynch into the ropes. And then Sky took a cheap shot from the floor and hit the Rose plant and had the pin. Lita broke it up and hit Kai with her Stratus fashion building. And Sky went up top and performed a moonsault onto the PO of partners and opponents on the floor, which left all 6 wrestlers down. The wrestlers returned to the ring to beat the referee's count. Both women did a series of tags, and then all 6 women fought. And Trish hits the Trish hits her kick on Kai, her big kick. Lita performed a moonsault on Sky and Kai and cleared them to ringside. And then Trish hit her big kick on Kai. Lita performed a moonsault, and I think I already went over that, which goes to show that I need a nap. So I don't know what I'm saying. Sky and Kai and cleared them to ringside. Bayley set up for a Bayley to belly on Lynch from the ropes. But Lynch avoided it and hit a manhandle slam from the second rope. On the second rope and scored the pin. Now, I will say that, everybody worked really hard in this match. Legends did more than some people expected. And it felt like they all wanted this to be special. It didn't really mean anything to be Damage Control in the end, you know. And we were only hoping that the creative forces have a real plan in place to get the women's division on track again coming out of WrestleMania. So, and we got a video package showing Dominic being released from his prison cell, being handcuffed and placed in the back of a van. 2 police motorcycles pulled onto the stadium. He pulled onto the stadium through a side entrance, and then the correctional facility backed it behind it. So, a bunch of correctional offers existed. The fan, and then a purple mask wearing Dom exited the van, and the correctional officers walked Dom through the crowd to the ring, and he removed his mask before he got to ringside. Cole called it the most ridiculous thing he'd ever witnessed. A lowrider was shown slowly driving through the back arena. Snoop Dogg drove the car, and Rey Mysterio. Wow, man, I thought he was going to get his own entrance. I'm not even going to lie. No, I'm just joking. He did get his own entrance. He got a new entrance. He got something special. Rey Mysterio needed something special after being inducted to the Hall of Fame. Wouldn't you want something else special? Yeah, this was the pinnacle of the night, man. I'm telling you. So, here is what went down with Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio. So, for only the second time, father and son did battle at WrestleMania when Rey and Dominic Mysterio fought in a singles match. Dom was brought out in a paddy wagon and handcuffs, wearing one of Rey's masks for his entrance. When Rey was driven out in a low rider by Snoop Dogg, once they finally got the match going, neither man was holding back. They immediately established a quick pace with aggressive tone. Rey scored the first major takedown, and it seemed to phase Dom a bit. Yeah, don't ask me why. Don't ask me why, man. I don't know what to tell you, man. But once they finally got the match going, neither man was holding back. They immediately established quick pace with an aggressive tone. Of course, Rey scored the first major takedown, and it seemed to phase Dominic a little bit. So Dom threw a drink at his sister's face at ringside, and Rey had to hold her back. He took advantage of the situation to attack his dad from behind. Damian Priest and Finn Balor showed up at ringside as Dom began to take control. He took advantage of the situation to attack his dad from behind. Damian Priest and Finn Balor showed up. And Damian Priest and Finn Balor showed up at ringside. Dominique began to take control. They interfered to help Dom with some distractions. Legado del Fantasma ran to the ring to take care of the Judgment Day. Bad Bunny stopped Dom from using a chain and allowed Ray to hit the 619 and score the win over his son. So now we go from that to the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Rhea Ripley challenged Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship in the Pelham match, the premium match of the night. By all means, it wasn't the best match of the night, but that's somewhat okay. So they were slow to lock up as they circled each other and tried to play mind games. But once they did make contact, they immediately started going at 100 miles per hour. Now, guys, my eyes are closing like crazy. That's why I've been stopping a lot. My eyes are closing. I can't control them. Ripley was kicked out of the ring. And they were slow to lock up as they circled each other, trying to play mind games. Once they did make contact, they immediately started going at 100 miles per hour. Ripley was knocked out of the ring, so she had a minute to regroup as the Queen posed for the crowd. Once she got back into the square circle, the Nightmare took over. Now, Flair unleashed a tirade of chops in the corner before she began to focus on the challenger's leg to soften her up to pretty much performance, put it that way. Now, I keep falling asleep. If I keep falling asleep like this, I might have to shut down the stream. They kicked out of each other's finishers as they began working toward the ending. Ripley was able to anymore. I'll finally get to review the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship match so I can just go ahead and get right into bed and take a nap. My eyes have closed like 5-6 times already on the review, and I can't stand it. Now, the SmackDown Women's Championship match was a great match that got better as it went along. Ripley absolutely killed her moment this year. It was a great match that got better as it went along. Ripley absolutely deserved this moment after all the great work she has done over the past couple of years. I'm not even going to bother going over the Miz versus Pat McAfee. I didn't give a crap about that match whatsoever. I didn't really care for that. We got the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championship match. So the match was great for both its in-ring action and storytelling. All four guys did a masterful job with everything, especially the selling of the big spots. You could see people legitimately crying in the crowd as Zayn and Owens hugged with tears in their eyes. It was the perfect way to end night one. Now, overall, this was an awesome, very, very awesome main event. The show closing, feel good finish. You know what I'm saying? The crowd went bookers, and rightfully so. Overall, it was a fantastic show. And it's going to be very tough for WrestleMania Sunday to top this. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for your WrestleMania 39 review. Both reviews are done. And I'm done. I'm getting out of here. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the review. Let me know in the comments below when the stream ends. Well, all I gotta say is I hope you all stay safe. A good rest of your Sunday. I'll see you guys tonight for WrestleMania 39 Night 2 pay-per-view. I'm getting out of here. Peace and have a good day.